What is going on, YouTube? Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. How is everybody doing today on this fine Wednesday afternoon for me here in the good old Tejas? Raining and windy outside my window right now. I was actually thinking about pulling an audible and doing a Chicago-Dallas flight, but then I realized I don't really want to battle 160 knot winds with a crosswind with a headwind component there as well. So we're going to stick with plan A. Chicago O'Hare to Philadelphia, guys. What is going on? We have the lovely A321 in front of me here right now. We are going to be testing the new FMOD. I don't know if it's actually new. FT Sim has had these FMOD sounds out for quite a while for the 319, but being a BSS fan, you know, I never really looked to change my sounds for the 319. However, the 321 I found a little bit lacking in the sound department. Just me personally, I'm so big on sounds and having that, I don't know what, just that overall engrossing of sound add-on that BSS gives. But the FMOD is okay. It's good. It is a work in progress. He still is going to add cabin sounds and in all the environmental stuff. So right now it's just purely engine sounds that are different. We're sitting at the lovely Charlie 11 here in Nimbus O'Hare. Guys, check out this. One of my favorite things about this airport. You can put in your little departure destination time and all that, and then it pops up right there. I mean, I feel like I'm sitting in a real cockpit here. So what's going on, guys? A couple shout-outs. Dougal McTavish, IMDimitri. What's going on, guys? A couple mods in the house already. Good to see that. Love that. Irish Batman. Hello. How's it going, my friend? Pili UK. What's going on? Barak Uslu. Micah Messer. What is up, my friend? Carta Jawol, the Neo mod man himself. Goodness, man. I feel, Carta, I feel like we opened a can of worms, man. Just been answering Neo mod questions like crazy. Huge shout out to Carta for his patience and his involvement with the Neo mod. Speaking of the Neo mod, X-Plane 1972 on board. How's it going, my friend? Good to see you here. Looking forward to doing that podcast with you guys. And he is also going to be streaming that lovely Neo mod tonight. I saw the notification pop up on the tubes of you. So be sure to check that stream out. X-Plane 1972 tonight is going to be streaming the Neo mod. Fantastic. Micah Messer, private pilot, welcome to the channel, man. I'm so happy to have you on board. Glad you're enjoying the content enough to become a member. Exclamation point welcome if you would like some more information about your new perks. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump in this lovely bird and get the show on the road. No pilot edge today, none of that. We're just going to get into it right here. Let's go ahead and get the APU primed up while we do that. Ground control push button, that comes on. We've got the fault light there because we're not aligned. Everything else looks good. Should have the batteries on there. That could have been a big oops there if I disconnected the ground power. Everything else has been tested. So with this FMOD sound pack, everything is the same except the engine sound. So there's no internal sound differences for environmentals, you know, like signs or cabin announcements, anything like that. But he is going to be updating that, and he will also be updating an IAE version, which I really am looking forward to. Right now, he only has the CFM variant out there. So we're rocking the CFMs. Not a huge fan of the CFM motors on the Airbus. They don't climb as well. They have the same thrust output technically, but they look small and they don't climb well. That's all I know about the CFM motors. So we're going to rock them today, though, just because of the new sound pack. Let's go ahead and get the flight plan in the box here. We're going from Chicago O'Hare. We're not going to spend a lot of time on the ground. We're just going to get this puppy airborne. Interesting enough, I did do a test flight earlier with these sounds, and I had another failure. It was a pretty interesting one. I had an autopilot 1 failure and another compounding electrical problem, which hopefully they're not going to be too common now, but I forget where we were. I think we United 587 this afternoon. We're going to go cost index of 55. Flight level 310 for the cruise index. Align, and off we go. Captain Tom in the house. What's going on, man? Welcome on aboard, Captain Tom. Good to see you here. All right, so we're going to go O'Hare. They're departing westbound right now, so we're sitting over at the... We're not at the Y. We're at Charlie 11, so over at Chicago O'Hare. We're over here at Charlie 11. We're gonna bounce off 2.8s. Let's just verify the winds real quick here, quickly on the chart. Oh, there we go. 310 at 10, yeah, they'd still be blasting off 2.8. So we're going to take 2.8 right. So We're going to load in 28 right.
Donation.
Barak Uslu coming in with a $20 bomb. What is going on, Barak? He says, I was about to hit the haystack. I thought I should do this first since I've been out of the loop for a while. Barak, man, thank you so much for your support for the channel. Thank you for that $20 bomb, man. That is huge. Really appreciate you here in the community of V1. You've been a member for a while. You've been around for quite a while, I know. Thank you so much for your support, man. It means a lot to me. You guys are the reason I continue to produce content because I love teaching, but the fact that you guys are so receptive and enjoy the content that I put out there just drives me to make more and better content for you each and every day. So thank you so much, Barak. Really appreciate that. All right, O'Hare 28 right. Now, interesting enough, there is a departure procedure for Chicago, but it's a vector departure. However, it's not in the box, so we're going to use the fix info page for that one. Chris, another another member to the channel. Thank you so much, man. Exclamation point welcome. For more information about your new perks, so glad to have you on board as well. You guys are just coming in today hardcore with the support, trying to get this puppy off the ground here. Chris, again, thank you, man. Appreciate it. All right, O'Hare 28 right. We don't have the O'Hare departure procedure to put in the box, unfortunately, which that's kind of a shame, but we'll get past it. We're going to go out to mobile transition, MOBLE, but we are going to use the fix info page because we have some restrictions that we need to use, that we need to be aware of here on our departure. Oops, my volume is on the cell phone here. Give me 1 second, Gat. 1 second. All right, so mobile, and then where is the rest of our route here? So mobile to a dime, ADIME. We'll get that in the box, and then we're going to Gerbs, and we're going to straighten up this route a little bit. I took this route from a real-world route here that's, I think it's actually delayed, or it might be en route right now. GERBS. A dime, Gerbs. I like to insert every couple fixes. That way, if you make a mistake, you don't have to clear out your whole flight plan there. From Gerbs, we're going to join the airways here. We're going to join Jet 146. J146 to Chardon, which is Charlie X-Ray Romeo. Insert that, and then Elwood City, which is Echo Whiskey Charlie. All these fixes, I used to do a lot of flying out here on the East Coast, bringing back some memories there. Elwood City, Echo Whiskey Charlie, and then direct to Johnstown for the Bojid. The Bojid arrival into Philadelphia, my old base. How I do not miss you so. 27 right. Bojid, arrow right, Johnstown transition, insert. Let's take a look, make sure we don't have any weird discos there. Rose says, can I use the BSS 319 for the 321? No, I mean, you can, but it doesn't work. It ends up going off or like muting itself after a certain amount of time. Interesting enough, I've been playing around with using the BSS and the FMOD sound pack, but it's not 100%, so we'll leave it at that. So look at our route here. That looks perfect. No discons in there. That's good. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of you. Secondary, we're going to do a quick secondary here. O'Hare to O'Hare. Donation. Rand, cool. What is going on, man? Coming in with another donation, a $10 bomb, man. It's coming in. I gotta open the message here. It's a little bit longer message. He says, thought I would use this after seeing how much Google takes from you. Always love your content. Your videos are very helpful. I don't fly a lot of heavies, so appreciate your hard work for us. Rand, cool. Thank you, man. Really appreciate that. Really, you've been a supporter here of the channel for a while as well, man. Really appreciate your donation. $10 bomb. Huge positive rate in chat, man. Thank you so much, Rand. I haven't been flying the heavies lately either, but there is an FMOD pack for the 330 of jar designs. So we may be doing that here in a minute. So O'Hare to O'Hare, get back on track here. Secondary flight plan. We're just going to do a quick arrival, quick and dirty. If we bang one, we're going to go right back around, make left close traffic. We'll put it down on 28 center with the secondary perf, arrow right. All we care about is approach. What is our weather out here right now? 310 at 10. Oops, wrong button there. 310 at 10. Temperature outside is 7 degrees, which I probably should fire up the APU. AN 29 or 9 or 4. Pretty close to standard. 29er, 9 or 4. In the box, we'll do a quick and dirty 200 DH on the return just because I don't want to mess with coming back around. So that looks good. Secondary, nothing in the rad nav. Init B, this is where we're going to do our loading screen. What I want to do first is fire up the APU. Let's take a listen outside here. We might have to back up the time a little bit. It's getting a little dark early. Dean Michaels, hello V1. Hope you're having a great day. Looking forward to a great flight. Dean Michaels, me too, man. This should be a pretty one here. If I can time it right, our arrival into Philly is going to be absolutely stunning. That's why I said I might have to back the clock up just a tad. Liking those APU sounds. I'm liking it. Alright, we got the APU on board. As soon as we get an avail light here, we'll go bleed. Is now on. We no longer need you. We have the rest of our gas, because I saw it here. But we got 8.1. Perfect. So, let's look at the loading screen. Move this out of the way here. So the V-speeds with the new updates still seem a little off to me. So I'm still digging, guys. Have not forgot. Still digging for answers. Still digging for answers. But we're going to run with these loadout settings here. I'm just going to make sure I apply that. And we're going to look for a 28.2 and a 71.1. Block fuel, 8.1.
Donation.
Daniel Pavlik coming in with a $2 super chat. Congrats on the 7K 7-hour stream Saturday. Daniel, thank you for your support, man. Really appreciate it. It won't be Saturday. I know it won't be Saturday. Sunday, I'm doing a special SimWing stream. So, the commercial members have spoken. We are going to be taking the Toliss A319 for the 7-hour stream. The question remains now, would you like me to see the 7-hour... I might have to do the 7-hour stream on a weekday, maybe Friday or Thursday, tomorrow. But it's tentative yet. It may have to roll into next week, but we're definitely doing it. I gotta make sure I've got the scenery all good to go as well. The Orbix London City, because that just looks phenomenal. So it's I'm really hoping to get it done this week. I go to work on Monday. I'm going to be absent for a few days. So at the very least, it'll be late next week when we get on the 7-hour stream. But it's coming. I'm excited for it. Commercial members have spoken. We are taking the Toliss 319 close to real as possible with the BSS pack. Zeke, another $5 bomb. Thank you so much, man, for your support. He says, V1, you are a great man. Hope the V1 family is doing great. It's so amazing on what you do. Flying is a passion. Flying is a passion thrill. Seeing the heavens where virtually and or in real world is truly amazing. Cheers, V1. Let's soar high. Thank you so much, Zeke, man. I really appreciate it. And I totally agree with you, man. This channel and this community is going to soar to new heights. I'm telling you guys, I can feel it. The vibe is there. The community is there. I am so excited for the future of all of us here at V1. Well, just me, but all of you guys, part of the community. It's going to be awesome, man. Going to be awesome. So, you guys are so awesome. I can't even get this bird off the ground here. Where are we at here? Fuel, 8.1 on the block. That looks good. Everything lines up there. Okay, so KORD in the box, and then perf data. We're going to use historical V speeds from this loadout from real world, 140, 145. Somebody also mentioned on the last stream I didn't trim up properly, which it is correct. So that might have been why the rotation was so heavy. But we're doing a flaps 1, no flex, because no flex in flight sim, full yoga. And we're going to do a trim. We're going to set our trim, and it should handle a lot better But at this load, at this weight here, what did I say? I think we're right around 71 with the zero fuel, and then the weight. It's going to be pretty close to these speeds anyway in real life on this long of a runway. Slam Cannon says, I took the FS Labs 321 out, spin using the built-in McDo performance calculator. The V-speeds were comparable to the Toliss, interestingly enough. Interesting, Slam Cannon. Interesting. Interesting. I am still digging. I have no definitive answer on the V-speeds yet, guys. I'm still in the research mode because I don't want to come out and say something that's incorrect, and then, you know, then there'll be problems. And people say, oh, you did this wrong and this wrong. So I'm digging for real answers. But let's look at the Fix Info page, guys. Okay, this is something that I've been waiting for a very long time in X-Plane. I'm actually going to be releasing a video on this Fix Info page next week, most likely when I'm at work, so you guys will be able to go in depth with it. But on this departure procedure, you can see here, GCO is Chicago O'Hare VOR. I know it's kind of a weird identifier, GCO. But there are restrictions. All DME-equipped aircraft to cross at or above 3,000, 5.5 DME from GCO. There is also a restriction to cross at or above 4,000 at the 8.5 DME radius from GCO. So how do we put this in the box? Well, Airbus has a Fix Info page here. Put in GCO. Now what's going to happen is it's going to, let me zoom my range down so we can see what's going on here. I got to go back to the original flight plan, get out of plan mode, zoom in. There we go. All right, so GCO is now highlighted because I put it in there. We're going to put a radius of 5. Now, I don't think it'll take decimal. Let me just check. No, it won't take decimal. So just like real life, I'm going to put in the more conservative number, 5 nautical mile ring. Now look at this. I have a ring at 5 nautical miles around GCO. So I know I need to cross this line at or above 3,000. And technically I can be just a little bit below that because I know this is a more conservative at half a mile shorter than the required 5.5. So perfect there. I can also make another radius will be for the video, at 8 miles. So now I've got 2 rings set up here, the 5 and 8. I know I need to cross at 3 and 4 respectively. Perfect. Such a huge help in situational awareness. This Fix Info page here, you access it by pressing L1, Fix Info, and you can put anything in here. You can put in a different fix. You can make up a user waypoint, and then you put that in there. So I will talk in detail about the Fix Info page, but this is one simple feature of the Fix Info page that we use real life, day to day, across the board. I don't have to be looking at DME on my ND here, which, I mean, I could do, but this just puts a nice graphical image on the ND for me. So love seeing that Toliss modeled that. I wasn't even sure that they were going to get that modeled in time. It wasn't really on the list during the beta phase. I know. I think I was speaking with Torsten. He said he wasn't sure if he's going to get it out for beta 1. But, I mean, they did, and it works fantastically. So huge props to Toliss for getting that on the release version there. So excellent. Let's go ahead and drive away all. We'll just go ahead and hide them there. Let's go ahead and start closing up the doors. And we are ready to go. So I normally love the auto doors.
Donation.
But I got to... Avio Man coming in with a $5 bomb. Ready for Saturday. Can't wait for our Sim Wings special. Avio Man, I hope you mean Sunday, dude. I hope you mean Sunday, because Sunday is when we're doing it, right? Unless I'm off. Avio Man, thank you so much for that $5 bomb, man. Really appreciate it. Yes, Sunday we are doing the Sim Wings special stream to a special airport that's very challenging. You may have heard of it. MHTG Toncontin International. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Dougal is spearheading that whole project with SimWings. I'm very excited to be part of it, and I think it's gonna take off here. No pun intended. So, doors are closed. Thank you, Avio Man. Let's go ahead and get the pushback started here.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
Just back me up straight. Tail. What's that? North.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Connor Hughes. Almost missed it. Thank you so much, man. Another member to the chat. Positive rates. I'm going to throw a bunch of positive rates out there because I've been slacking. I've been trying to get the plane set up here. Connor Hughes, thank you so much, man, for joining the channel. Exclamation point, welcome. For more additional information on your perks that you will be have access to now as a V1 member, man. Fantastic. Welcome aboard. Gonna have to have Toliss come out with an all first class configuration so I can put all my V1 members in there. You guys are awesome. Beautiful. All right, I'm finally caught up. Captain Berto, I'm back to the chat now, guys. What it do, chat? How are you, V1? Captain Berto, I'm doing just fine, man. How you doing, bud?
Hatches are closed, ready to connect.
He's ready to connect. I'm gonna just flip the parking brake here. And I think, yeah, there goes the jet bridge. Perfect. Jet bridge is going away. 310 on the altitude. We've got our bleeds on.
Donation.
Turn this off. Avio man coming in with another $5 bomb. My bad. Sunday. Here's another one. Avio man, thank you so much for your support, man. Welcome. Or not welcome. Thank you so much, man, for that $5 bomb. Really appreciate it. Yes, Sunday. Okay, good. Now I know I don't have my days mixed up. Saturday, I'm unavailable. I have a prior commitment, but Sunday, it is going down, my friend, and I'm really going to try to get it on VATSIM for you. I know you guys have been asking for some VATSIM stuff. I've got XPilot installed.
So connected,
so
and
we're going to try to be on the VATSIM pretty soon.
Release parking brake.
All right, release parking brake. Brakes release, clear to push, tail north.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
I posted a picture on your Discord, V1, of my calculator for you. Takeoff from here. Well, here it might be interesting to see what they would give you. Let me take a look, Card. I'm going to pull it up right now. So you got a V speed. Is that what you're saying? Ooh, what is this calculator? Is this the Top Cat? Oh, no, this is AppSoft. So 159, 160, 160. Config 2, Toga flaps 1. So 59, 60, 60. Okay, let's run it. That doesn't seem too out of the way. I don't have a problem with those speeds with this runway because this is an extremely long runway as well. So we're gonna use those speeds, Carter. Thanks for that, man. What was that? 159. Because it's definitely not. It's not uncommon to see speeds in the 60s, guys. It was just the consistency that I was seeing the high numbers. So that's what I'm trying to find out. But 159, 160, 160, flaps 1 Toga. We're going to do it, man. We are doing it. Thank you for that, card. I appreciate it, man. Let's go ahead and fire up these sounds. What do you say? Austrian 279 says, V1, is it at a whole different place or is the crossfeed not labeled? So crossfeed is... That's interesting. It was right here. This is your crossfeed valve. I think it should be labeled, right? Has it always not been labeled? Am I going crazy? It definitely should be labeled. In real life it is. Transfer valve. Right transfer, left transfer.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
I'm going to look at my book, Austrian. That's a good catch there. I'm going to look at my book here as soon as we get rolling.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
All right, we'll go ahead and fire up engine number 1. We got bleed pressure. Starting engine 1. Crank it.
Subscriber ahead. Look up.
Jay Kidler, thank you, man, for the subscription. Glad you're enjoying the content, man. Welcome aboard. What's going on with the sounds? That's not sounding too hot there.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the right. We'll see you next time and have a great flight.
I will see you next time. Have a good one. Let me check my other sound settings here. Ooh, I'm going to turn that up. There we go. All right, and we'll fire up engine number 2. P2 kicking off. Why aren't you using flex temp, Slog Dog? Because there is no need to flex in flight sim. Full yoga, brother. We're not saving engines here. We're not saving maintenance. We want to hear these puppies scream.
Donation.
Martin Novak, what's going on, man? A $3 donation. Bob, how's it going, man? Thank you so much for your support. He says, thanks for the stream, Captain. You're from Texas, right? The stars at night are big and bright. Haha, yes, sir. You know it. You know it. Avioman, commercial pilot Avioman, Team Green, as Dougal says. Positive rates in chat. Avioman, thank you so much, man. Welcome on board. Glad to have you here, Avioman. Introduce or walk into the first class cabin, if you will, please. Exclamation point welcome if you need any more information. I'm pretty sure you already know the deal, man. You've been around here for quite some time. Appreciate you joining the channel. All right, so we've got our engines started. They are meh, right? Better than default, I think, but it's not terrible. So let's go ahead and get our flaps out. I do love the flap sounds, though. Flap sounds for real. Slog Dog, I'm not using flex because there's no need to flex in flight sim, man. I like hearing these puppies roar. Flex is basically just to save engine life and wear and tear and stuff, so I have to flex in real life almost every flight, so I prefer to go full toga when I can. Alright, lights are coming down. Brakes released. Let's take a look outside. Is that loud enough for you guys? Is that too loud? I'm gonna have to turn those down here when we get going. Let's see, it's 22:10. We're gonna back the time up just a little bit. Give me 1 second, guys. Got a little bit delayed there on the ground. I'm gonna back this up. 20:30. Apply changes. There we go. Check your altimeters. They're not 29091. It is 29091. Crisis averted. Thank you, Carta. You guys are on top of it. Micah Messer says, hey, if anyone wants a quality MSY, Vertical Sim just put 30% off. Micah, absolutely, man. I didn't know you just put 30% off. That's fantastic. Definitely check it out, guys. I went to MSY on my last stream on, what was it, Sunday? So, fantastic third-party airport. I can't wait for his Tampa to come out. It's going to be really nice. You got it, Slog Dog, man. No worries. Right, once we get out here, we're gonna double back. We're gonna make a left turn on, what is it? Bravo, Alpha Bravo Bravo 28 right. So we should be good to go. Whoops, nose wheel. And we'll make the turn here. How's it sounded? That's all right. That's all right. Slam Canada says, by subbing to V1 channel, you automatically get 500 hours real world time. Dude, I wish I could make that happen, huh? All right, let's do a flight control check, guys. Here we go. Full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, rudder disconnect, full left, full right, neutral. Flight controls are good. We're going to go auto brakes max, takeoff config, radar PWS can come on, and auto, transponder TARA, and forward call. Look at that, we are good to go. Flyby shot here of just the taxiing. Man, it's really hard to taxi from the external view there. Am I going to get Microsoft 2020? Yes, definitely. Definitely going to get Microsoft 2020. I'm looking forward to it. If it's got a good Airbus in it, man, I don't know what I will do with X-Plane.
Donation.
Do not know.
Donation.
Zachary coming in with a $20 bomb as well. He says, V1, you are great. Thanks for doing everything that you do. I hope the V1 house is doing great. Congrats on the 7,000 subs. Fly high and let's all soar together. Zachary, thank you, man, so much for that $20 bomb. I really appreciate your support on the channel here, man. Thank you for that. Let's absolutely soar high. We're soaring high today, guys. We're gonna. This is gonna be this year. This is the year of V1 Simulations channel. I can feel it. Carter, just waiting to hear that buzzsaw. Me too, man. But thanks again, Zachary. Really appreciate it, man. Matter of fact, speaking of the channel and where it can go, I did get an invitation to FS Expo this year. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. They just commented on one of my last videos and wanted to chat and wanted to know if I was going to be able to go, but I think I already have prior commitments that week, and it's just a little bit too short notice. Plus, I mean, with all this virus stuff going on, I don't know what's going to happen to that. But hopefully, maybe next year we'll be doing. I'll be able to finally meet some of you guys. All right, so we're going to take Delta. Man, this is a long taxi, isn't it? We're going to turn right here at Delta, then we're going to go parallel 28 right. Ooh, I can hear those engines a little bit here. Let's speed up this taxi. Is that the X-Enviro? No, Ali, not yet. The X-Enviro is coming. The X-Enviro will be here this week, most likely. I'm just trying. I didn't want to stream with it today because I want to do a couple, essentially, test streams with it because I'm trying to see how the performance will interact with my PC, because I would really like to do, honestly, I'd like to do X-Enviro for our 7-hour stream. I just don't know if I'd actually melt my GPU, so I'm doing some testing on that. Dimitri, not even close. Yeah, he knows. Dimitri knows. Dimitri, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I'm sold. I'm sold. You got me there. Oh my gosh, I am deaf. Ow. Middle marker needs to go away. Let me turn some of these sounds down here. Turn the master volume down a little bit. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. 21:35, so an hour be 22:35. It'll be too dark. We still gotta. I still messed up this timing here. So hour 37 en route. I want to be landing right about 22:40. So if we took off now, we're gonna get there at 23. Yeah, we're gonna back it up about 30 minutes still. Let's back it up 30 minutes. There we go. Trust me, guys, if we go into Philly at the right time with the Ortho and the extended night lighting, it looks fantastic. Yeah, that was the inner marker jumping around. I don't know why, by default, a lot of the airplanes and X-planes have the inner marker audio panel set to on, which is something in real world that I've hardly ever listened to. I do love the looks of this 321 though, I gotta say it. This new United livery is interesting. United doesn't fly 321s yet, but this is, I guess, a rendition of the XLR that'll be coming out, which we do have model. We've got the 2 ACT tanks on there, but gotta remember, guys, the A321 is not really a long hauler. I mean, the A319 has a longer range than the A321, so. Carter says, I'm getting to get my AAL cabin texture mod for you. AAL flight's just waiting for some reference info from 19 Adam. Excellent. Excellent. All right, we're going to make the right turn here. We're just going to keep it rolling. Oh, did we already miss it? Did I already miss 22 right? I did. There's 22 right. Oh, well, we're just going to not pay attention, and we're going to taxi over the displaced threshold. This is the fun part about being an X-plane. So I totally missed my turn on to 2.8 right. So this is 2.2. We're just gonna do a little off-roading here. But fun fact, these yellow stripes here, guys, this is a signal that the edge of this taxiway is non-weight bearing. That's why you have these yellow stripes there. These chevrons are also non-weight bearing. So you would definitely not want to do this in real life. All right, there we go. Let's light it up. I got too distracted at the drive-by views. All right, lights are on. We'll pop out the screens. 2.8 right on departure. We're gonna fly heading. We're gonna make a right turn out. On departure, flight heading. Oops, went the wrong way. 360. All right, here we go. We'll spool them up. Micah, illegal. I know. Oh yeah. Mantoga SRS runway. Auto thrust is blue. 80 knots. Thrust set. Neutral by 100. Feel the power. She is rolling. V1. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. All right, watch your ears. We're doing a flyby. That's all right. It's no full FMOD or BSS, but it's pretty good. Lower the nose, get that positive trend in airspeed before we reduce. Thrust climb, auto thrust. There's a reduction in power. Lower the nose. And we'll pull heading. To the right we go. Now we know we're definitely going to make that 3 and 4 because remember we put the rings around it, 3,000 and 4,000. We're already at 3.6. So she is climbing today, boys. I like to hand fly it this way. See the exterior. Looks like we have an auto retraction. We did. We had an auto retraction of the flaps. Now there's our S speed. Flaps up. We'll continue that right turn now. Let's make it 090. Careful of that speed there. There. That is super loud. I apologize. We're going to turn it down.
Ahead. Look up.
Fleur, thank you for the subscription, man. Welcome aboard. We'll continue that right turn and proceed direct to mobile. Direct to mobile. We are in nav mode now.
Subscriber ahead. Look up.
Dimitri says, yes, nice, but nothing like the PW roar. Totally agree, man. Totally agree. Thank you, Gian737, for subscribing. Welcome to the channel, man. I don't think anything beats that Neo FMOD. those Pratt & Whitneys. I don't think anything beats them in the sim. All right, get these back to normal here. We'll go autopilot 1 on. 8.9, climbing 310. Captain Tom, gotta head out. I'll be watching the replay, so I'll watch the landing. Captain Tom, get out of here, man. Take care. All right, that's close enough to 10,000 feet. We'll go ahead and kill the lights. Ding the flight attendants. We should have disarmed the spoilers and started the chrono. Where were you guys? Left me hanging on the chrono there. There's 10,000 feet. What do we got for climb speed today? At 55, you want to do 340 knots? I don't think so, buddy. We'll select speed around 300. We'll let her accelerate right now. Dale Smith, the Neos are too quiet for you, man? Oh, come on. They're quiet, but the takeoff sounds, and when they're under power demand, they're fantastic. I'm missing a little bit of ortho here until we get east of the lakes. I just had to make some room for some Tom Cotton ortho. Anna King says, I had a flight from Miami to SFO yesterday, and I could have sworn the pilot applied manual braking a few seconds after touchdown. That was the shortest landing I've ever experienced. It's possible, man. There's no, depending on where you work, there is no requirement, or there may not be a requirement to use auto brakes. I don't use them unless I feel like I need to. I'll use auto brakes mostly, especially low or something, if I've got a pretty good crosswind on the ground. That way I get even brake temperature wear. You know, if I do manual brakes, I have a habit of kind of stepping on one brake more than the other because you're kind of battling that crosswind. So you can get uneven heating of your discs. So that's why if any crosswind, I'll use the auto brakes. All right, so everything else is looking good here. Climb phase 639, perfect. Let's go to our overhead, make sure everything else is set. That looks good. Let's go ahead and change the cabin temps a tad. No failures right now, that's good. Toliss always likes to surprise me with a few failures. Is it me or is your mic volume too loud? Let me bump it up for you. Alright, hopefully this will be a little bit louder for you. Let me know if that's too loud or just right. I can also bump down the master volume here a little bit. And we'll get rid of some of that background noise as well. There we go, look at that. Shot of Chicago. They're okay. They're okay. I will say that. These sounds, I'd probably give them 7 out of 10. And I know it's just work on progress, and once he gets, announcements and all that stuff, I think it'll be even better. Loving that water, though. ZIBO Fox, how's it going, man? Welcome. Salim Rashid says, V1, hi sir, when the 7th, where the 7-hour stream, where and when? So, I don't know the when just yet. I want to try to do it maybe, I don't know if I can swing it Friday. I'm pretty busy Friday and Saturday. I may end up doing it tomorrow, leaving in the evening, arriving in the morning, which is how the real flight does it. So the 7-hour stream is a real British Airways flight. They go from Kennedy to London City. And in real life, they leave, I want to say around 7 or 8 p.m. local time in New York. And then they arrive around 7 a.m. in the morning. Is that right? Something like that with the time change? Bruce Jackson, how's it going? It says, hey there, V1. I had my first day back at work after health problems, and I'm flat out exhausted. Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that you're exhausted, Rose, but that's good that you're back at work. Sounds like you've made a recovery. Excellent. Mike Rosone says, V1, I have to head out, go in training for work. catch the rest, or I'll gotta catch the rest on my way home. Have a great flight. Mike, excellent, man. Thank you for stopping by. David, Greek flying for us, flight sim noobs. We could with some explanation of why you carry actions you do, e.g. flaps 1. David, excellent, man. Yeah, that's what I'm here for, man. So flaps 1 takeoff is pretty common. I mean, a flaps 2 takeoff, the problem with the flaps 2 takeoff is something called second segment climb. So any takeoff that you perform in an airliner, you need to meet certain climb gradients and restrictions if you lose an engine after takeoff. So a flaps 2 takeoff will impair your second segment climb numbers most of the time. Now, in a very general thought, a flaps 2 takeoff is going to be, like I said, it's going to impact your second segment climb numbers, where a flaps 1 won't. So that goes into that goes into factor if you're doing a flaps 1 or flaps 2. Of course, the weight of the airplane, the length of the runway, everything else goes into play. So you can't really blanket statement why you do flaps 1 or flaps 2. And in reality, the way it's done in real life, man, when we send off our takeoff data, we send off our weight of the airplane, all the environmentals, the outside temperature, wind, etc., length of the runway, runway slope, runway conditions, all that gets factored in. And it's a third-party software or third-party company that will then crunch all the numbers and then send us back takeoff data, and they will give us information for flaps 1. It could give us information for our flaps 2. So in the airline world, it's a much easier, it's kind of that, if you don't use it, you lose it. Flying corporate, a lot of the guys got to figure that stuff out themselves. You're looking at charts and you're calculating your own numbers and balanced field length and all that. But in the airline industry now, it's pretty simple. It's kind of spoon-fed to you, if you will. Dimitri says that specific Speedbird 318 IRL has especially modded tanks and landing config options made just for that route. The 319 and the sim won't have those. Yeah, I know the 318 is all, all first class, or it's all business class, something like that. And modded fuel tanks, interesting. I didn't know it had modded fuel tanks. I wonder what kind of modifications they got. Maybe they have ACT tanks on the 318. I don't know. But the 318, a 319 will make that flight no problem. 319 can do that. 321 would be pretty difficult to go that way, go that far. Just a standard 321. The 321 guys, if you look at 319, 320, and 321 with no additional center tanks, the 319 has the most range because it's the same wing, right? So you have the same lifting force minus the weight of the extended fuselage, you're going to get greater range. Now, the ACT tanks on the 321 will grant you more range. However, it is going to impact your useful load because now you've added ACT tanks, which take away from how many passengers you can take. So if I wanted to be super, super critical, you look at this cabin and you see this is an all economy class cabin, right? So there's a lot of seats in here. You would not, just from my experience, I don't think it would be possible to load this airplane up 100% people and have 2 ACT tanks. You would be well over your max takeoff weight. So you have to remember, when you use those aux tanks, you're going to decrease your useful load in the Airbus. Tesla Guy V1, just out of curiosity, do you have plans to test out the Airbus A350 by Flight Factor when it comes out? Yeah, absolutely, man. I'll probably test it out. I know it's had some woes and some issues, growing pains, it wasn't really finished, so I'm not going to be flying it until I know it's going to be having SIDS and stars and bug-free and things like that. But I love the 350. I think it's a fantastic-looking airplane. I would, if I could fly a different Airbus, I would want to fly a 350 just because I think it looks amazing. But I know the one in X-Plane we have is lacking, so until it gets updated, we'll see. But it would be something I would entertain the idea, definitely. Bruce Jackson said, to be honest, I'd rather be exhausted than bored stiff. Absolutely. That's a good point. Zeke, he says, what are your thoughts on FS 2020 so far? I love the engine sounds. If the Airbus 319 retires, does that mean the 220 will replace it? I don't know. I don't know if the 319 or if the 220 will replace the 319. You can't. The 319 still has more capabilities than the 220. 220 is not quite a 319. It definitely has. It's a little bit more economical, but we'll see. As far as FS 2020, man, I definitely think that is going to be a good platform. I can't really talk about anything other than I can say that I do have the Alpha and I've been flying it. I want, personally for me, I just want to have one sim on my desktop. You know, I've been through FSX and a little bit of P3D and then X-Plane, and I just want to have one sim. And I think Microsoft 2020 can bring that to us. I don't know if it will be right out of the gate, but in the future, I definitely think it is a way of the future. But that's just my opinion. That's really all I can say. But I mean, I enjoy it. I definitely enjoy it. All right, let's get back to the cockpit here. I'm sure we're well above 18. Yes, we are. So we'll go ahead and set standard. 29902. We're climbing out 1,000. She's kind of struggling here, but we are climbing with a 100 knot tailwind. So that's pretty normal. Let's go ahead and back off the speed. Let's do about 295. Let's see if that helps her get up there. A little bumpy, so we'll leave the seatbelt sign on for right now. Remaining fuel 3.1, so that leaves us, what, 40 minutes? 34 minutes extra time. Perfect. So we're looking good. Everything is looking good. 570 miles out from top of descent. Beautiful. Rose Jackson says, would you ever go full flaps for takeoff? No. Nope. Any water mod? I don't use a water mod. I use a water Lua in the description, I believe. Dimitri actually handed it to me. Fantastic Lua mod, or Lua script. ZIBO Fox, gotta go. Have a good one, man. Take care. Micah says, Will cannot take off overweight. With it being heavier, you need as much speed as possible. It's a balance game. Absolutely. Yeah, and sort of flaps full. You can. I think it's possible to do a flaps 3 takeoff, but flaps full is prohibited, and flaps 3 for our operation I think may be prohibited as well. I'd have to look into that one. I can't recall doing a flaps 3 takeoff. If I have, it's been a really long time. But yeah, Micah's correct. It's all a balance game. You got to balance your climb performance after takeoff. You got to balance your performance on the runway, getting airborne, and you got to do all that and calculate for engine failures in the meantime. So there's a lot that goes into takeoff performance calculations. Slam Cannon says, I hope FS 2020 brings my hard drives relief from the Ortho. Oh man, Slam Cannon, you and me both, dude. I've got my Ortho is just, it's getting out of hand. I don't have any more slots on my motherboard. So what I need to do is remove one of the SSDs and get a larger SSD and then somehow transfer all that information. Austrian279 says, I gotta go have fun. Take it easy, Austrian. Thanks for stopping by, man. We'll see you later. Bush Jackson says, me, does the 220 look like a small version of the 350? It looks like a small version of the 350. I could see that. It's like a small 350 Neo. Micah says, I've only seen flaps 2 on reference sheets. Yeah, I would be hard-pressed to see a flaps 3 takeoff. Flaps 3 all the time. I learned from LaGuardia and DCA. Yeah, you could do a flaps 3 there probably. It depends on which runway you're going off of. Steaming Spoon, what's going on, man? It says the FS Labs APSU frequently gives me flaps 3, especially for short runways. All right. So you must have a pretty low climb gradient restriction then. I know EasyJet SOP out of LGXB or Gibraltar's flaps 3 toga. There you go. Yeah, well, that's because there's no climb gradient, right? You're going over water, so that would make sense. But you'd be hard-pressed to do a flaps 3 with mountainous terrain off the end of the runway. So, I mean, I'm not saying you can't do it, but it'd be pretty rare. But yeah, exactly what Dav is saying. If you're going over water, no climb gradient, yeah, why not? Flaps 3 toga, get that sucker airborne. Zeke, no problem, man. Bullet 893, what's the estimated weight of a passenger for CG calculation in real life? Oh man, I think it's 100 and it includes bags. So one passenger includes a bag. I think it's 250 or something like that. I think and there's summer weights and There's summer weights and winter weights, because in the winter they say passengers weigh more because of the extra clothes and stuff they carry. That's something I could probably look up for you. Is it me or your straps still on? They're still on, and they should be on, man. Dougal says my Ortho is down from 12 terabytes to about 8.8. There you go. Daniel Pavlik says, I'm going to be taking the Sporty's PPL course in a few weeks. Did you have anything like that to complete before getting your PPL? Yeah, actually I did with Martha King, right? I think it was King Schools back in the day. That's awesome though, Daniel. Alright, let me see if I can find this. Where will that be? Weight and balance. I want to, for some reason, 160 is sticking out in my head. Passenger boarding. Blah, blah, blah. I'll have to dig for that one for a while. I'm going to keep digging here while I read these messages. The driver says, V1, one of your last streams you flew into an airport near LA and it was captain's only approach. Are there many captain only approaches in the US? Not too many, driver. I know Burbank definitely is one. I'm trying to remember if there's any more off the top of my head. I don't think so. Not that I can think of off the top of my head. But yeah, Burbank is definitely captain only. And that may change. I think we've had some captain-only airports, and then they change them. And, you know, they say, okay, now everybody can do it. But initially they come out as captain-only. And then after a certain amount of time, they can change it. Still looking for this. FMGC. Here we go. Maybe this one. Weight and balance. Doesn't say. I'm gonna have to find this because now I'm curious. And I know it changes, believe it or not. So it initially changed. It used to be a much lighter weight, and then over the years they updated and say, well, yeah, passengers actually weigh a little bit more now. Davin says, I've done out of Denver once, and I was struggling to climb. Once I got past laps 2, it improved, but man, it was a struggle. Yep, definitely. Abu, do I also fly a 321 in real life? Yes, absolutely. Yes, nice wing flex. I love it, man. Just, I think that wing just bouncing out there. Can't really turn that seatbelt sign off, though. Joel, welcome, man. How you doing? Welcome on board. Dimitri says, no need for SSD. I installed 2 8TB of black HHD 7200 RPM drive, and they're the bomb. Cheap, too. You know what, Dimitri? I've thought about that. I haven't spoke with anybody that went with the HDD route. I don't know if that... I mean, that's gotta... I would imagine it increases your loading time, so once you're loaded in, it should be good, right? So that is definitely an option, because I think I still have some old Raptor drives. They're 7200 RPM that I could use. We'll go ahead and manage it up there. We're level of cruise altitude. We'll go ahead and that's in neutral already. Engines are spooling back. Well, I'm going to have to keep that seatbelt sign on. We're going to turn down these engines a little bit more here. There we go. Can't quite get that seatbelt sign off just yet. Let's go outside. What's your ears? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, WD drive. Yeah, I knew what you meant. Yeah, it's still quite bumpy there. We're going to hang on that seatbelt sign. Dougal, you swear by the black drives as well? Never let you down? It's something I'll look into. Definitely. Because if I could just get a couple of big one of those, you know. Is it weird? Is the wing flex weird? I think it's alright. It's definitely a stiffer bounce, which is true to real life. Go fly sim. Burbank is for kids. Try Rio de Janeiro. Yeah, man. Curtis says I have an HDD. Some spike during the texture loading, but only for a second or two. I have all my Ortho in HDD except for Ortho. Okay. So I might have to do the HDD. Well, that's the thing, though. I don't know if I'm trying to minimize my space now. I don't want to just add HDDs and get more Ortho. I'm hoping this FS 2020 thing will be what it can be. I think when people get to fly it themselves, maybe a lot of opinions changed. Romulus, what's going on, man? Says V1 actually from tests people have done using HDD for Ortho often causes less stutters than SSD. Really? You use an HDD as well? Okay, Romulus. You guys are probably onto something here. I might even just plug in my old Raptor drive and have it go at it. We'll see. Steaming Spoon, have you ever kept the seatbelt sign on the whole flight? Yes, absolutely. Recently flew on a flight where it was on for like 5 minutes. Yeah, I've left it on accidentally an entire flight before, but typically the flight attendant will call up and be like, hey, can you turn the seatbelt sign off? Or, you know, it's been an intentional to keep the seatbelt sign on. There's definitely days, I can't remember if I told you guys, but a while back, a couple months ago, we did a flight from LA to Dallas, and it was, or I think it was Vegas, Dallas, and we literally took off, and it was bumpy as all hell getting out of Vegas, and then it stayed that way the entire flight. And then we ended up having to do a Cat 3 back into DFW. So it was just one of those flights where I felt like I had gone 9 rounds with Mike Tyson by the end of it. Because you sit up there in that cockpit, you get beat up, and I'm talking not just little light chop, I'm talking moderate to severe turbulence in some areas, because it was, I guess I won't say severe because we never lost control of the airplane. Severe turbulence is classified as temporary loss of control of your aircraft. We never lost control of the aircraft, but we were violently held against our restraints, which that is a moderate description. When you really feel your seatbelt digging into your side or digging into your shoulder for us, because we have a 5-point harness up front, when you feel that, you know you're in some serious turbulence. And it was like that the entire way. Max Rank, he says, this is not related to X-Plane, but I know you fly the F-14 and DCS. Any idea how to get the big cat in the Zone 5? At full throttle, I get... Really, Max? Okay, so I haven't had that problem. Do you pull up I call it the right control enter screen, and that's essentially where you can see your throttle position. Are you looking at your throttle position there and verifying that it is only getting stuck at the halfway point, or not the halfway, at the 3.5 mark? If you are, maybe look at your curves. See if you have a curve on your throttle axis in settings, because I know that can do it too. If you accidentally have a curve, or maybe there's I forget what they call it, not a Y curve, but there's a curve in there that will actually limit the top end of your axis. So I would first check the right control enter page and make sure that the throttle is not going to full, and then go to your settings and look at your curves and dead zones. But I haven't experienced that, luckily, so unfortunately I don't have any better answer for you than that, but that's where I would start.
Subscriber ahead. Look up.
Thank you for the subscription there, Bluffy. Welcome on board, man. Zeke says, that's a beauty right there. Absolutely, man. I'm looking forward to seeing these 321 XLRs show up here. This is fictional right now because United doesn't have any 321s, but they are on order, so I think it looks pretty cool. I like this masking around the windows here. Kind of looks A350-ish. Issa, had to get dinner, but I'm back. Issa, hope you had a good dinner, man. Welcome back. How, Ro Jackson says, how accurate is Ortho to real life? I mean, if you get some good ortho, it looks, it is, I mean, essentially it does look real, because I don't think we can see anything right now. We're above the clouds here. But you're essentially taking satellite imagery of the actual Earth, right? So it looks very real. I know I did a flight, I think some of my favorite ortho is over Florida. That's why I can't wait for Vertical Sim Tampa to come out, because some of the ortho in Florida just looks fantastic. However, I have also been eyeing the Orbix Florida. Thank you to Captain Geo. He's been showcasing that. But like I said, I'm pinched for space right now. I'm at that point where I have to remove sceneries to add sceneries, and it's kind of driving me nuts. They look like I'm pouring diesel, Dimitri. All right, man. I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna be hitting you up here in the Discord pretty soon, Dimitri, for all this X-Enviro knowledge. But try to Vivid for X-Vision. Yeah. Once I get X-Enviro going, man, I'll be done with X-Enviro, right? Or no, with X-Vision. So I just didn't want to throw it in last minute and then have a stream and it not be ready to go. Do I recommend the Founders Plaza for spotting a DFW flight surgeon? Yes, man, absolutely. Matter of fact, when I used to fly cargo, going to the Founders Plaza, that's over on the the west side, if I'm not mistaken, correct? And it's right in front of the UPS ramp. So I used to fly a lot of freight in there, and that's where my wife would go and spot me and see me coming in and stuff. When I flew backside of the clock, man, it was pretty wicked. She'd pick me up at 10 or 11 o'clock at night when I got in, and then drop me off at 3 o'clock in the morning the next day, because technically it wasn't an overnight. It was just, you were still on duty, you just got a few hours of sleep. That was before 117 and all that. But yeah, Founders Plaza, if it's the one I'm thinking of, it's a great place to spot, man. It is on that, you're going to miss a lot of the the east arrivals, because you're on the other side of the airport, but you will see some heavies come in there and stuff, so it's pretty cool. Air Canada has the raccoon mask. Yeah, I love the Air Canada livery, man. I think it looks sharp. That black and red with the mask, I really enjoy that new Air Canada livery. It looks really sharp. Probably shouldn't stay in exterior. You're absolutely right. We should probably go up front and take a look here. How are we doing up here? Everything looks good. We got our top of descent. You know what? We're going to straighten this out here. We're going to go direct to Johnstown. We're going to shorten the route here. Actually, you know what? How about direct to Kofax? Direct to Kofax, that'll do it. Being based in Philly for years, I know. Across Kofax, flight level 250. So I'm going to put that here. Kofax, 250 altitude. Now it's going to give me the wrong. So in real life, I can put it in like that. This is just kind of a Toliss thing. 250 altitude constraint. Altitude air. Don't worry. I'm going to cross 300 knots, 250. That'll take care of that. And then we're going to look at bunts. Always cross bunts at 8,000. So I'm going to click here. Altitude constraint 8,000. 250 knots at bunts. Kind of gets set up ahead of the airplane here. 250 at 8 at bunts. Beautiful. 27 right. What's our total distance? 397. We're still good. I'm going to get the seatbelt sign off just for a few minutes. People are probably getting antsy by now. I'm still looking at, and I'm not trying to ignore you, I'm still looking for the passenger weight. I am having a hard time finding it here. Doesn't really say. I'll keep looking at it. Dimitri says, in my opinion, Orbix Florida is great, but the price and space requirement makes it prohibitive if you already have Fork Boy. Yeah, Dimitri, that's kind of where I'm at too. I love my Fork Boy Ortho over Florida, so to make that purchase and then have to make the room for it, it just seems a little bit too much for me. So I'm probably going to stay with it right now. FOM, still looking for weight and balance here. It might be an A. Well, it might be a FAA thing, man. Or, because they tell us the weight. I will find the answer to this question. May not be on this stream, but I'm going to find out what the actual weight is. For some reason, 180 is sticking in my head. Because that counts their carry-on handbag. Flight Surgeon, you plan on going there Friday? Also catching the Mavs game because they're playing my favorite team on Friday. Excellent, Flight Surgeon. Unfortunately, I won't be flying Friday, so I won't be able to wave at you, but it should be fun, man. Aircraft to Bricks, it's Little V1. I can finally watch one of your streams again. Keep it up. Thank you, Brick. Welcome on board, man. Rose Jackson, I should know this, but why don't all the passengers have 5-point harnesses like the police? Just money, probably, you know, to put a 5-point harness in every single seat and then teaching people how to use it. It'd just be, I think it'd be too much. So, and I mean, you hit the brace position for a passenger. I mean, you brace against the seat back rest in front of you, right? Where up front, we come forward, we're going to smash our head on the glare shield. John, anyone else excited for 2020? Absolutely, I am, man. Count me in. Tesla guy, do I have an all-time favorite aircraft? Probably the 727, man. Probably the 727. And I never even flew one. It's one airplane I wish I could have flown. Nick, sorry if you didn't mean to break any rules. My previous missions, not a problem, man. Zeke, are either commercial or PPL just to start, but ultimate goal is chartering? Excellent. Excellent. That was my goal. I wanted to be a charter. I wanted to fly corporate charter, man. That was my initial goal. But my career had other ideas for me. Slam Cannon says, as passengers, we're lucky to even get seatbelts at all. Definitely, man. Pretty soon they're going to have all, all standing room only cabins. It's all about, there really is, it's in the United States that is, it's hard, there's really not much class or fame. Let's take a little cabin tour here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's all about how many people can we get into the airplane now. It's all about money, right? I mean, you look back in the day, some of the big Boeings, 7.2, L1011, MD11 even, 707, huge seats, full service, full complimentary meal services. You still get, some of that on international, but that's about it. Now it's all about seats in the airplane. Look at all these seats, man. This is probably a full eco configuration here, no lav here in the back, so that's probably about 228 passengers. That's a lot of people. Put that in perspective. U.S. Airways 757, when it was configured with a dual class configuration, held about 165 maybe. 165 people in a 757. This Airbus right here is going to hold 228. Duo Gamer just subscribed. Welcome, man. Nice and quiet back here. Got the dual lavs. Little tiny windows here. Not much to see. Not much to see. Hopefully the weather will hold out for us in Philly. It's kind of a neat shot. A little bit quieter back here as well. Didn't know how come I don't use TrackIR with X-Plane? I do, man. I love using TrackIR with X-Plane. The only problem is when I stream with it, I think that it makes the stream a little bit more fuzzy or out of focus because it's constantly rendering a motion from my head movement. So I try not to use TrackIR when I'm streaming. But if I'm just going to do a flight by myself, absolutely, man. TrackIR is a must for me. I love having TrackIR up. It adds that element of being able to look around, look over your shoulder, especially flying GA stuff. We're doing pattern entry, things like that. But I love TrackIR. Just don't use it for streaming. Sometimes I do, but pretty rare. Yep, Dougal's got it. Drew says the CRJs are the worst with seats. I have spent too many flights shoulder to shoulder and thigh to thigh. Oh man, the CRJs, man, you get on a 200, oof, definitely can be rough. You think the CRJ is bad though? I don't know. Have you ever been on the Dash 8 100s, 200s Piedmont, the old Dash trash? Whew. I thought I was going to die in one of those airplanes one time. We were starting up out of Philly, actually. We were on a deadhead going from Philly to, I think, Boston? Or no, it wasn't. Maybe Buffalo? Maybe it was Buffalo. I think it was Buffalo. And we were on a Dash trash, Dash 100, 200. And they started up. They had no APU, middle of the summer. Hotter than heck. I'm in the very end, in the very back. It didn't even have, so on the Dash 8s, on the 100s and 200s, you had, I think it was 2x2 across, or 2x1, and then the last row was just 4 seats right next to each other. And I was in the middle of the last row, but I was slightly towards the aircraft left side, so kind of like how this is here, 1, 2, 3, and just imagine a 4-seat. And I was sitting right here, behind the seat in front of me. So I've got a person to my left, a person in front of me, and 2 people to my right. And it was probably 105 degrees in the back of that airplane. And then they go do a cross bleed start, and I don't know when they opened up a bleed valve or something, it just filled with fume, the smell of jet fuel, jet A exhaust. It must have had a tailwind, and just the way the wind was blowing outside filled the airplane. It was miserable, man. People were looking at each other. I actually thought for a minute we might evacuate because it was that bad. But they ended up getting the second engine spooled up, you know, just that big old prop spinning out there, and then it eventually cooled off a little bit. But oh my gosh, man, flying on those 200s, 100s, terrible, absolutely terrible. I like this wing view right here, though. Have I seen the half-standing seats increase the passenger numbers, but they want... Yeah, I have, man. I've seen them. It's nuts, dude. The half-standing seat thing, unreal. Someone will do it, I'm sure. John says, I remember flying on Northwest 727s out of MSP, the good old days. Yes, sir. Northwest 727, man. Lovely. We might have to get back in this 7.2. It's been a long time since I've done a 727 stream. I think the last time we did it, we broke the nose gear, right? Into Boston. Zeke says, my previous message was, what kind of schooling do I need to take in order to do either commercial or chartering? You won't need any... are you talking about non-aviation, just regular academic schooling? So I would just... Honestly, man, I tell anybody this that's getting into aviation, if you're going to do aviation, have a degree in something other than aviation. Because you never know what's going to happen. Your career is going to revolve around maintaining a medical, and if something was to happen, or if the economy takes a downturn, look what's happening now with the coronavirus, right? United is offering pilots to stay home. They're canceling new hire classes, and they're saying, hey, stay home for a month, we'll pay you half of what you normally make, just we don't have the flights for you right now. So in a downturn like that, you want to have something to fall back on. So I would suggest schooling in something other than aviation, but if you want to stay in the same neighborhood as aviation, maybe aviation safety or something that doesn't have to do with flying necessarily, because then you can fall back on that anytime there's a downturn, or, you know, God forbid you can't hold a medical or something like that. Avio Man says opinions on TSA ceasing ops in December, man. Sheesh. It's tough, dude. I know people that are there, and it's bad, dude. It's bad. But that's just how this industry is, man. You really can't predict what's going to happen. There is no guarantees. When I first started flying airlines, I remember I was flying a regional jet, and I was taking an A330 captain who had just finished his, I think he just finished his retirement flight. So it was his last commute. I'm this young regional FO, and he looks at me and he's like, son, what I know about this career is it's never good and it's never bad, but it is always changing. And if you get somewhere where you enjoy working there, stay there and build that seniority, because seniority is absolutely everything in aviation. And but he was right, man. It's always changing. I mean, you could say it's good and it's bad. He said it's never good, never bad, but it is always changing. So many different factors in aviation. Wow, this is a really good flight to look at some scenery, huh? Nick says, any tips for my in-dock for first regional starting end of the month? Ooh. Any tips for in-dock? Cooperate and graduate. So there may be things that you don't necessarily think are the right way to do things, or you may have a different opinion on something, but just cooperate and graduate. And then once you get through in-dock and once you get through training, then you can, you know, start voicing your concerns. But the biggest priority for you is just going to be to get through the training. In-dock, not much to it, man. It's pretty boring. It's all the dotting I's and crossing T's of being a pilot. So you're going to learn a lot of regulations and a lot of a lot of airline SOPs, the operating procedures. It's not a very exciting study material, but like I said, just cooperate, graduate, and move on from there. That would be my tip for you. All right, we need to start planning our top and descent here. It is rapidly approaching just about 80 miles or so. Koufax at 250. We're going to spin in 250 here in the altitude selector. We're going to cross it at 300 and 250. Let's look at our perf data. Next phase. For descent, we're going to go a little bit faster. We're going to come down at 320-79 Mach, not 82. That's excessive. For the approach is Philadelphia. Ooh, slop dog, shot at 319 and 321. Man, that depends. That depends. Do you want to fly a bigger jet or do you want to fly a sporty jet? So don't let it be confused with long haul versus short haul, because the 319 actually has more range than the 321. Now, you put the ACT tanks on there, I think the range increases to around 3,400, like average, but it's still not substantial, really. Aurora, or Auto X. Auto X, thank you for the subscription, man. Let me pull up the weather for Philly. Right now we are showing... Here's my weatherman, Dimitri. Philadelphia is showing 10 miles viz, 250 at 13. Should be more or less down the pipe. 250 at 13. Temperature is 14. Actually a nice day there in Philadelphia. Altimeter is 2983. MDA, I know this from heart, 211. Put that in the box. Beautiful. Descent is ready to go. We'll start down about 5 prior. Hopefully we'll get down below some of these clouds here. Finally start seeing some ortho. Keep hiding behind the wing here, hoping we can start seeing some glimpses of it. Rose Jackson, just imagine doing Heathrow to Sydney with half-standing seats. Yeah, I don't think they would do that, man. That might be classified as torture. That would be rough. Flyby, please? Absolutely. We've been lacking on the flybys and exterior shots. I apologize. Let's go ahead. If you're a headphone user, watch your ears. We're going to do some flybys here. They're okay. I think we are... I mean, is there a higher quality vacuum than a Dyson? Someone's got to look up. What's a better vacuum than a Dyson? It's better than a Dyson, but that's not juicy by any means. Wallball 75, quick question. Flight factor 320 versus A321 takeoff. Which is more realistic to you? Ooh, you know, honestly, I think they're both pretty darn realistic. I think you just have to have the right speeds. Don't do a flaps 2 in a 321, and unless, I shouldn't say don't do flaps 2, because you do flaps 2 takeoffs. It just, I find that most realistic for me feels with the flaps 1, 150-ish knots rotation. So, but I've done the takeoff performance test, you know, as far as thrust output and drag. I did it with the 321. It's there. It matches real-world performance when you load it right and use real-world V-speeds. The 320 is the same. And the 321, what's nice about it is I can feel that you really want to rotate smooth in the 321 because you've got that 7.5 degrees unemployment attitude, right? You get 9.5 compressed struts, you get a tail strike. So with 7.5 degrees, that's our pitch call out. That's a limit. Once you hit that, you can't pitch anymore. So we call it unemployment attitude. So on the rotation, it's just a very slow, nice and gentle, get her up. But you want to be careful not to under-rotate as well. There's a fine line in rotating the airbus. If you rotate too slow, we get into a phenomenon called the under-rotated takeoff, where you're going to mess up your climb performance in your second segment, which, if you have an engine failure, could lead to problems. So, but you also don't want to rotate too fast and have a tail strike. So there's that fine line of getting a nice smooth rotation and going right into the command bars. Don't settle below. Get right to that climb attitude and get away from the ground. But I think they both feel pretty realistic to me once you load them right. And I mean, if you look at the flight factor performance test that I did, it's pretty spot on. You look at the 321 performance test that I did, when I loaded it and used real world V-speeds, it was spot on. So it's there. I just think I'm educating myself in the V-speed calculations and things like that. So once I have more definitive answers for you guys about that, you'll definitely hear about it. So we got to start down. Mock descent there. We're going to turn the seatbelt sign on because it's getting a little bit rough. We'll put this into below mode. And folks on the flight deck, just our initial descent down to Philadelphia International Airport. Right now we're about 228 miles from the field. We should have you on the ground here in just about another 45 minutes. Weather in Philly, it's a nice afternoon there. 72 degrees, light winds, partly cloudy skies. Seatbelt sign will remain on for the duration of the flight. We do ask that you remain seated until the aircraft arrives safely at the gate. On behalf of this Chicago-based flight crew, welcome to Philadelphia. There's my PA for you guys. Hit me up, ZIBO. Dimitri says, I still feel the 321 tends to get away with the descent profile and speeds. I find that I have to use the boards a lot during a descent to rein it in. Do you have the same issue? Yeah, and that's, that's pretty realistic too. The 321 will get away from you on the descent. Now, pay attention to your winds aloft, Dimitri. If you have a tailwind, and I don't care which Airbus you're in, 19, 20, 21, for some reason, the Airbus with the tailwind, she struggles. So if you got a tailwind like we do today, I'm probably going to be popping those boards out early to maintain a nice steady profile, just because that tailwind, you get that increased performance over the ground. It should, in theory, take account for it, and I know it takes account for it in real life as well, but there's just something to an Airbus with a tailwind on a descent. She just doesn't like it. She doesn't like it. Old Fifi has a hard time comprehending tailwinds, so it's pretty realistic to be riding the boards out. A Kirby vacuum cleaner, Berto. Interesting, a Kirby. Farnborn Media says, I just joined the stream. The first thing I heard was about vacuum cleaners. I'm sorry, man. We don't always talk about vacuum cleaners here. We were just referencing the flyby sounds. I've got a couple emojis in chat. I don't know. You guys let me know. Is that a sound love emoji or is that a vacuum cleaner emoji? We've got some pretty diehard sound fans. Some pretty diehard sound fans here on the channel as well, so I mean, you take a popular vote. Are we loving this or are we vacuum cleanering this? I'll tell you what though, it looks nice outside. Look at that shot right there. Yes, sir. Slam Kinnison sounds better than a household vacuum. I'd say it's on shop vac. Oh man, you too much, man. Thanks for answering 321 versus 320 takeoff problems. I was using flaps 2, by the way, love your videos. And thank you, man. Appreciate that. The flaps 2, like I said, it's not necessarily unrealistic, but I've got to. I'm going to try to have my bag with me. I have some more data that I'm trying to collect. I need to collect. I think all the data that I've tested has been flaps 1 takeoff performance data. I'm waiting to get a flaps 2 takeoff data, and then I'm going to run it into the sim against the airplane. We'll see. So, but for me, the most realistic, I get that flaps 1. Feels good to me. Zeke Moore says, I just want to clarify you don't need schooling necessarily to fly for either for a charter company or commercial airline. Also, what stopped you working for a charter company? Yeah, no, you're correct, man. You don't need a degree for either or. Really, at this point, I mean, you can get on without a degree with any airline now, almost. It just makes it a little bit more competitive. But what stopped me working from a charter company? Really, man, just the quality of life. I was flying corporate. I was flying Part 91, corporate flying, flying a citation, or a couple of different citations. And I needed that more stability. At the time, it was my girlfriend, my now wife. And I knew that if I stayed in the corporate industry, we probably wouldn't stay together. Now, either because I partied too much, or I just enjoyed flying with my buddies that were flying together all the time, and I realized that I needed a little bit more stability in my life if I wanted to prioritize our relationship. So that's kind of what got me away from the corporate side. Berto says vac sounds. How did my first rejected takeoff feel? It was miserable. Absolutely miserable. I was pinned my head down. It is a wicked when you do an RTO. Carta says it's better than TSS, but it's not BSS for sure. Absolutely, Carta. I agree with that. I think a lot has to do with it is a lot of the environmental sounds too. You know, I miss the environmentals on the inside. That's a cool shot right there. That looks real to me. You're talking about is Ortho realistic? That's pretty darn real. You heard the real PA? There you go, man. Yeah, all the way for you. A jet-powered vacuum cleaner, Jungly Sim. What's going on, man? Welcome aboard, Jungly. Good to see you here. I gotta go ahead and set 8,000 for Jalto. Let's go ahead and continue the descent. Where's my next top of descent arrow? I think we confused her. There we go. We'll continue our descent down to we're down to 8,000 feet. Whew. Yeah, that Ortho, man, was juicy. Yeah, when I get into the East Coast, I always get a little rip FPS there for the loading in of the East Coast. Dave R, if you can launch my vac past me at 400 knots, I'll let you know how it compares. Oh, man. Toliss first flight factor in terms of system depth and flight model. They're pretty comparable now, man. And I'm going to speak specifically 321 right now versus 320, because the 321 now has more functions in the MCDU, I think, with the fixed info page. Flight factor still doesn't do fixed info, but the Toliss now does fixed info and secondary, which it does not do in the 319 yet. It will, but just not yet. So the FMGC is there. I still think the flight factor one is a little bit more advanced, not because from a modeling standpoint, just from the software standpoint. So flight factor modeled a pure EIS2 system from top to bottom. Toliss kind of has a hybrid EIS1, EIS2 thing going on with some of the features in the MCDU, and then some of the then the whole cockpit is EIS2 configured with the displays. So it's not that one is better than the other necessarily or more advanced. It's just what they chose to model as a company. So they're definitely different. Toliss flies great. I mean, if you have the 319 and the 321, you know what I'm talking about. You know, even though there's a lot of similarities between the 19 and 21, and the 20 for that matter, the biggest difference, and I said it before I even flew the beta of the 321, was that the hand flying characteristics of the 321 are going to be the biggest difference of the whole thing. And it 100% reflects that. And I don't know if you guys know this, but the lead developer at Toliss is actually was a fly-by-wire engineer for Bombardier, like a legit fly-by-wire engineer. So I've been talking with my buddy Phantom and him as well about the flare mode in the 321. My buddy Phantom and I we can't really put our finger on the flare in the 321. We both feel like we're pulling way too much on our side stick in the sim as compared to the real thing. And we each have a kind of a different ideas on why we think the flare is off. I'm kind of starting to think now it might be a resolution issue with, desktop side sticks. For me, I'm using the Thrustmaster Warthog, right? So I don't know if it's got that resolution. So I've adjusted some settings here. I'll show you here on my joystick. So I went straight to a straight linear curve now. Normally, oops, that's the wrong one. Let's roll for pitch. Normally I had a little bit of a curve here to kind of make this a little bit more fine. I went straight linear now on my pitch axis response curve. Now you can see my roll. I find this to be about the most realistic with roll right here. But I went straight linear now with my pitch, and I'm going to see how it feels on landing in Philadelphia tonight, because that's my issue with the Airbuses and X-Plane is I feel like I'm pulling way too much on my side stick. And in real life, that would translate to a tail strike. That's why I have a hard time really getting the airplane to flare properly, I think. So we'll see. We're still kind of toying around with it, but I mean, when you talk about flight dynamics and systems, you're splitting hairs at this point now. I will say the Toliss runs a heck of a lot smoother than the Flight Factor if you have a little bit of a weaker PC. So that's something to think about as well. Rose Jackson, I hear the Airbus is called a rocket-powered lawnmower. Yeah, I've heard a rocket, heard a jet-powered, was it sawmill or something? I don't know if I've heard the lawnmower one yet. What do I fly in real life, man? I fly the Airbuses, 19, 20, 21, and the Neos. So this is my bird. This is my baby. Tesla guy, just curious, Cap, would you possibly consider flying around Asia for a change? Say China, Japan, or Indonesia? Or something like that? Yeah, I would. I don't have the problem with, and I say it's a problem. It's not really a problem. It's just I've gotten so accustomed to flying with good sceneries, right? With Ortho, I've got Ortho pretty much on almost all of the United States now with airports. I don't have any scenery over there. So that's kind of what keeps me from doing a lot of flights around the globe. But with our 7-hour stream going to take us into London City, we're definitely going to fly around Europe a little bit there. I do have Orbix, Great Britain, and I'm going to be getting the London City airport, and I know there's some good stuff down there in Greece and all that, so we're going to be touring around there for a bit. But that's kind of that's why I don't just hop in and fly, a route in China, because I don't have any scenery there. Wibal says 321 VR is awesome, better than the 320 for me. I'm always on VR with my virtual FO multi-crew. Excellent, man. I've really been trying to get that multi-crew experience working. I tried getting it working with Phantom 320. I thought it would be cool to do a real-life crew flight with him. Him being a first officer, me being a captain, and we can work through a flight as we would in real life. But I can't get it working. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So kind of been waiting for that whole multi-crew thing to come out from FlyJSim. Zeke says, okay, so just wondering, are you able to incorporate your wife? And if so, how? Are you able to incorporate my wife? What do you mean, like in aviation? She really doesn't. She's not in aviation.
Look up.
Thank you for the subscription there, BV Steel. Welcome aboard. Issa says, Fly Air Asia. Gaming, how do you change the Toliss, excuse me, CFM to IAE? General settings? Oh no, that's wrong. Situation aircraft config. Right here, engine type, CFM, IAEs. You can do Sharklets, SATCOM, ACTs. We got the 2 ACTs here for the XLR. And that's where you change the engines. Better take a look up front here, see how things are looking. Bunsen 8000, what do we have in the altimeter? It was 2983. We'll set 2983. That's set on all three, so I don't have to do that. Go through 18,000 feet. That is on. Ding them. Perfect. Oh, and I gotta set 18,000 here so it doesn't flash at us. Perfect. 15.3 on the descent. Alright, well, we're not going to do that flyby again because I just got depressed a little bit. Nevada Rock 75. What's going on, man? It says V1 Hey Cap, does a flight factor A320 have an accurate fuel burn, or is it sim brief that calculates too low? If I want them equal, I have to set sim brief P004 for fuel 20. So Nevada Rocks, unfortunately, I don't really use sim brief. I kind of just spitball what I need. I haven't noticed any excessive burn rates in the flight factor, and it's probably because I'm not used to looking at kilograms there on the ND. Oh, I'm sorry, on the ECAM. But I can't really answer that because I don't really have any experience with SimBrief, so I don't know what the problem is there. Are you sure it's not a conversion issue? Like you weren't converting pounds to kilos, right? So, or kilos to pounds, something like that. Crocher says, I was asking because I have both the Toliss 19 and Flight Factor 320, and since I'm flying VR, the 19 at the moment is the way to go to the way better FPS, and the 320 seems more realistic to me. Yeah, so if you want more FPS, man, Toliss is the way to go, because that's going to get you the most performance. It's going to get you the most performance out of your rig. It's so well optimized. How long do you think the pilot shortage will last in the U.S.? I don't think it's going to last very long. I think they're going to extend the retirement age here pretty soon. Pretty soon, I think they're going to extend the retirement age. Ooh, look at that. Lights just turned on. Now we're cooking with gas now, ladies and gentlemen. We are cooking with gas now. Look at that. Goodness. Juicy. Gaming Murphy says, thank you so much. I could not find it. You're a lifesaver. Oh, no worries, man. John Cockstan, what's the verdict on these sounds? I think they're better than default, but they are definitely leaving room for improvement. I need, like, the BSS has a much more all-inclusive sound, you know, where he's got the environmentals and stuff, and I'm pretty sure FT Sim will get there. Keep in mind, he just released this. Excuse me, and from what I know from FT Sim and how active he is, I'm sure he will continue to update it, get the cabin sounds out and stuff. So this is just a very early release. He just put it out today. I mean, I was pretty sure I was the first one to just get it out. Or actually last night, I think, was it Carda? I think you said, hey man, he just updated the 19 sounds for the 21. So it's only been out for less than a day. And I've been using FT Sim now for a while. I think he does great work. Just give him some time, and we'll see. But it definitely is leaving room for improvement. Sarah Platt, welcome. Says V1, does the sound pack only override the CFM, or does it the IAE too? I love the IAE sounds in real life. You and me both, Sarah. Love the IAE sounds. My absolute favorite. I think it is only CFM. I'm pretty sure it's only CFM. I could be wrong. I don't know if you can override it with the IAEs, because I think you have to take out the engine sounds when you install it. So I'm not 100% sure on that. Tesla guy says, this aircraft with the sound mod sounds like a toaster compared to the other sound package. Something with the sound and score just heard on Captain Cannon's stream. Yeah, it might be. Well, it should be the same pack. I think he's running the same pack as me. Might have different audio settings, though. V Miles, what's up? How's it going? Have I ever considered flying in VR? And if you did, why don't you do so? I just like being able to look around. Oh, you mean like incorporate your wife in your... Zeke, it's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough, man. If she likes to travel, then, you know, she can maybe go with you and things like that. Then definitely you guys can hang out together. But if you have kids or something, it gets a little bit harder, definitely. All right, we are probably getting close here now. Let's take a look. We can probably start turning things up. Oh, my dog wants to get out as well, so we're gonna let her out. Give me 1 second. All right, dogs are out. We're speed alt star level 8,000 feet. I'm gonna go ahead and select speed 250. We'll go ahead and select speed 250. Activate and confirm the approach phase here. 148 on the V app, huh? Next restriction is Bogid 220 knots. We can make that. Man, this looks good coming in here, though. Dimitri says not to mention FTSim rocks when it comes to fast responses. Absolutely. FTSim, man, he is on top of it. The Neo, the one, Gaming Murphy, the Neo that FTSim has is Pratt & Whitney. We're flying from Chicago to Philadelphia, man, so we are on the arrival right now. John says BSS is good stuff, but he's too busy driving himself with Ferraris. Oh, man. DarrenAllen, let's approach down to minimums in the 172. Nice. I bet that was fun. New Guinea Campaign, what's up, man? He says, good day, Cap. It's been a long time since I was able to catch a stream. How are you? New Guinea, I'm doing just fine, man. Just enjoying some FMOD 321 flying. Go quick, I need a shower and sleep. Jump and run. All right, man, we'll keep it going. We won't reduce the 220. We'll stick at 250. Yeah, I'm liking this United livery beginning. I mean, it's gonna look pretty sweet, I think, when they start taking delivery of these birds. Starting to pick up a little bit of chop here. We're going to straighten out the line. We're going to make a... No, we won't. We'll just stick with a right and a left. And then Martin is at 3,000. So let's go ahead and drop it down to 6. I literally just flew over your house. Excellent, man. Man, look at the sun coming off the wing, though. Oh, that nice pink sunset. Whew. Baby. Yes, sir. Slam Cannon says, have you tried the FTSim 76 sounds? No, I have not yet. Can't remember if you own the 5.7 or not. I do. The 6.7 should come out soon. I've been thinking about getting back in the 7.5 just to try those sounds, man. Just to try the FTSim sounds. Rut-row, a little bit of a lag there. RIP FPS. You can do it. There you go. There you go. Good girl. Still rocking the same light mod? Yes, I am. Yeah, you can see that the TK was a TK night light mod. Ramon Thompson, the light chop. Yes, sir. I mean, that hum is pretty good for being idle. You know, it's not bad. Pretty quiet there. Pretty low power setting on the descent. Actually, we're at idle thrust actually, so definitely low power setting. We're gonna keep it rocking. We're gonna go all the way down to 3,000 feet. Reduce speed now to 220. We have to pop the boards for this one here. We'll pop the boards in the turn. There's Philly off the distance there. Look at that reflection off the wing though. Good night. Zeke, no worries, man. You're welcome. Look at that reflection. Is this real life? Whew. And the cell phone towers over there. You guys who've been listening to my podcast know about that. Actually, those might not be cell phone towers. They might be something else, but it's kind of what we have out here in Texas. And get ready to turn. We're making a turn here to parallel the downwind there for 270 right. Sarah Platt, what's the aviation mean about Delta pilots and light chop? Basically, if it's not light chop, you're not flying on Delta. Are these sounds better than default? Yes, I think they are, Alex. Better than default, room for improvement. But like I said, they're early on. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get our flaps out here. Let's extend the slats. Oh man, the city of brotherly love down there.
Subscriber ahead. Look up.
Kind of sneak out of the airplane here a little bit. Look at that. That looks good. Is this plane better than the JAR 330? Yes, absolutely. Captain Birdo says that looks dope. I agree, man. Lee Miles, thank you for subscribing. Welcome on board. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and back it down to 180. United 587, no right turn a 110. Right turn a 110, United 587. I think we're 587. What was our flight number? I don't even remember. Not really important. 587, there we go. Go ahead and get flaps 2 out. Captain Reynolds, good day everyone and all in chat. Good day, Captain Reynolds. Welcome on board. Double slotted flap sticking out there. Engine spooling up. Okay, okay. Carter says, wondering if I should try the FT-Sim IXEG. They are FMOD. Give the Doppler effect. He just opened 757. Ooh. I've heard, Dimitri said he installed them and then got rid of them. I think it's pretty hard to beat the default IXEG sounds. I really do. Alright, as we come to 150, we should have had our LS push buttons on. We're going to do manual brakes, full reverse. Oh yeah. There they go. There's that spool up. You can hear it. You can hear it wanting to roar. They're definitely an improvement. Definitely an improvement. United 587. Turn right, heading 230. Maintain 3 till established cleared. ILS 27 right. 230 on the heading 3 to established cleared. ILS 27 right. United 587. Alright, here we go. Glide slope blue, lope blue. You guys want to make sure you are getting your glide slope blue and your lope blue. You do not want to be landing in altitude hold mode or heading mode. Wow, listen to those engines. So if you are not going to be using the autopilot or ILS or anything, make sure you turn your flight directors off then. But you do not want to be landing in altitude or heading mode because you're not even going to be getting proper landing flare or landing mode of the airplane. So like you can see, we just got Lodestar there. Hopefully we'll get a glide slope. We'll get a glide slope star here momentarily just outside Jalto. Always looking to be 2,000 feet AGL, flaps 2, 180 knots. That we are. Things are looking up. Philly on the horizon. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a beautiful thing. Flyby time. So when they're under power, you can they definitely sound a little bit better under power. Whew. All right, there's a Lodestar. We've captured the localizer. This is just a beautiful time to land in Philly right now. Goodness. Yeah, New Guinea, these aren't BSS, man. These are FT-Sim, FMOD. This might be one of the most beautiful approaches we've done in a while. No, we're flying ghost mode here. Let's go ahead and turn our lights on. Never fly ghost mode. That looks better. Woo! Uh-oh. Looks like we just captured the rope. Oh, man. I'm going to go ahead and configure early because I want to look at this. Gear down. Oh, man. Flaps 3. Oh, it's getting darker. And flaps full. It's gusty out there. You can hear the auto thrust working. Man, they sound good. All right, we should probably pay attention here and land the airplane. Let's get our screen set up. I don't even really need that one up, do I? All right, autopilot's coming off.
2,000.
Ding the cabin crew. Landing checklist, cabin crew advised, auto thrust speed, ECAM memo, landing all green, our landing checklist complete. We've got our glide slope mode now and LOC, so there you go. Always be landing in glide slope mode or at nav or nothing at all. Don't want to land in altitude hold mode. It'll definitely screw up your flare logic. We're approaching 1,000 feet here, and about another 600. We're stable. Damn that light card, I agree. All right, I'm going to have to ignore y'all in chat. What we got? Wind said 20 knots. 20 knot winds here in old Philly. Be nice to me today, Philly. It's actually a good thing we got that wind because now we can really hear the engines working. In cruise, they kind of sound the same the whole way through, which is realistic, I guess. The engines aren't adjusting, but this approach, really hearing the engines working. Acre, Philadelphia shipyard right down here below us.
1,000.
1,000 stable, clear to land. Here we go. Why are we doing 158? I thought it was 148. Seem awfully fast. Whoa there. wind. That ground speed mini is working.
400.
Wow, that wind just died off. Feel that? Just fell right out.
300. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
Ooh, baby. That was way too fast. Spoilers. Reverse screen decel. Look at that. 51 feet over the threshold. I'll take that. 221. Hey, it's better than 321. 70 knots. I feel like we were coming in way too fast, though. Stow the buckets. We'll take the next one here. 2 right turns. Over the ramp. Whew. That got a little sporty there on short final. Winds were ripping around all over the place. Definitely a little sporty there. We'll clean up the bird here. We'll double back and then turn into the ramp at the end over there. Whew. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Filthy Delphia. We'll probably turn on the lights in the cockpit. There we go. We'll start the chrono as well for our cooldown. I mean, they definitely sound better than default. 100%. All right, all right. Let's take this to the ramp. Let's fire up the APU. We'll do a single engine taxi and let's listen to it spool down. Good old... well, we'll see. You know what? I don't know, man. Like I said, I like to dissect every landing here. But... I felt I was way fast on that. So my pitch attitude, I was almost negative on my attitude indicator coming in, which is, it's not a CRJ. You're still going to be pulling some AOA on approach. So we'll go into the ramp here. United's actually, I think, one more terminal down. Alright, we'll make the next left here. Taxi light is off. Yellow electric pump is on. And let's see how she taxis in a single engine. Kill 2. Oh, listen to that spool down. It's pretty good. No drinking tonight, Dimitri. Look at that parking job. You want me to go more right? I don't believe you. I think that docking system is way off. He wants me on the other line. EEA beautiful. Brake set. Power's available. Seatbelt sign. Engine number 1. Spool it down. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Philly. Salim said, next to the load sheet and check if CG is correct as Toliss gives. I'll have to. I'll try, man. We'll see. But yeah, we'll take a look at that landing. I felt super fast. I'm pretty sure the speeds are already dropped out by now. Yep. This said 148, I thought. And we were doing 158 plus. And I know there's something called ground speed mini. I don't even know if that's modeled. That's something I gotta ask. Oh, we can go ahead and kill that. Alright, so let's go ahead and disable real view because I'm definitely gonna look at this replay. So real view is off. Perfect. Alright. Let's take a replay. We'll throw you into replay mode. Then I will come here and I will throw you into replay mode. Let's back it up. Perfect. So, I mean, look at that. 158. And look at our pitch attitude. This should be up a little higher, I think. I don't know. Does it have my speed down here? No. I'll have to rewatch. Let's take a look from in here. We'll keep this up here on the left side. That's a cool shot, though. Listen to those sounds. I don't use any ground traffic plugin, man. This is a Mr. X, I think it's Mr. X Philadelphia. Fanborn, have to go now. Have a good one. Take it easy, man. Zeke, juicy. Yes, sir. So this is where the wind just died off. So now we're back to a normal pitch attitude. Yeah, I don't know. We're still below the horizon. I haven't seen... That's... I don't know, man. Ugh, interesting. I think I'm just too fast, maybe. 150 on the approach speed, huh? Oh, I just missed it, I think. I think it was so close to about... There's 50 foot over the threshold, though. We definitely made that number. Listen to those reverser sounds. Take a look from this side. I have to disable real view because it'll crash my sim. 100%. Spoilers out. Interesting, no Florence kit on this one. I wonder if I have that turned off. Let's take a look outside. Let's see what happened here. See, that is way too... That's flat. That's not even flat. That's negative flat. Coming down. Yeah, I guess I could have just flared it a little more. Into the sunset. Look at that. I don't know. Looked pretty good to me. Looked pretty good to me. We'll take a look at the tower view here. Do a couple more replay shots. And then we are getting out of here, man. So let me get this fired up here. Whoops. We'll get the song going. We'll take a couple tower shot replays here. Everybody, V1 Nation, my mods, sponsors, donors, everybody hanging out in chat. Yeah, look how flat that is. We were just too fast on approach. I think that approach speed was too fast. Guys, Like I said, mod sponsors, donors, everyone hanging out in chat, thank you so much for tuning in today on this Wednesday afternoon. I hope you enjoyed this FMOD sound pack. The link is in the description if you want to check it out. I certainly had fun today streaming this 321. We're probably going to take a break from here. We might be back in the Neo in a little bit here because I've been missing that Neo sound pack. I think that Neo sound pack is probably one of the best, if not the best sounds in the game, or in the sim, sorry. But yeah, I think I'm just a little fast in the approach there. So guys, thank you for hanging out with me. We're going to be doing a special stream on Sunday. Hopefully before then we'll be doing a 7-hour stream for our celebratory 7,000 subs. Guys, I can't thank each and every single one of you enough. On behalf of myself and the V1 community, I will catch you next time. See ya!